What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we are moving over from the NFC West to the AFC North to do our record predictions for 2021. And we have the Cleveland Browns next up on the list. And full disclosure, I really like this team this year. I like the Brownies. So let's take a look at their roster. They have Shake and Bake Baker Mayfield at the quarterback position, who played a whole lot better last year because they gave the ball to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the best duo at the running back position in the entire league, arguably two top 10 running backs, let's be honest. Like, if Kareem Hunt was on another team, he would be the number one, clear cut, in very, very, very limited situations would he have to split carries like he is right now with Nick Chubb. And Baker Mayfield really, really helped from this. He limited those turnovers dramatically, and he didn't have as much production, but at the same time, the guy, I think he had more touchdowns, but he didn't have as many yards, I believe, because they really took it out of his hands and let him be more strategic with how he threw the ball, and that really, really helped him. So I think that's going to be the exact same this year because Chubb, Hunt, beasts. They have Odell Beckham Jr. coming back from injury. They have Jarvis Landry, two very, very similar wide receivers. Rashad Higgins they like. And they drafted a dude from Auburn that I was kind of excited about because this dude is blazing fast. I think he ran a 4.27 or something like that. Anthony Schwartz can take the top off of a defense, and I think that'll be an awesome, awesome deal because Baker Mayfield, man, can he sling it. He's got an arm. So very interested to see how many targets Anthony Schwartz gets. I think it's going to be somewhat limited, but it could be like a Deshaun Jackson type of player where you don't see him get a whole lot of catches. He doesn't really have those games where he's like 8 catches for 100 yards. It's more like 3 catches for $120 and a touchdown, right? Like, it's kind of like that. That's what Anthony Schwartz is going to be. Austin Hooper didn't have a great year after being a free agent and getting all that money, but hopefully he has a bounce back year. I still like him. I think he's talented from over there in Atlanta, but he definitely did not live up to that contract that he ended up signing. They have an awesome offensive line, top 5 offensive line probably. Jedrick Wilson, I butchered that one, but Wills, he was their first round pick from last year. He didn't play great. He really needs to limit those penalties. He had 11 penalties last year, which was the most in the league. He's got to get those way, way down. But they got Jack Conklin from Tennessee. Wyatt Teller really showed up last year. He was an absolute beast at the right guard. So really, really good offensive line to pair up with a fantastic pair of running backs, and that's huge. Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, the bookends at the defensive end, and if Jadeveon Clowney can stay healthy and try to get back to that number 1 pick form, him and Myles Garrett can be an absolute duo over there. The middle of their line, though, is a little bit concerning. Andrew Billings is actually a rookie, and they have him listed right now as the starting D tackle. Malik Jackson's nothing super special. We'll see if any of these guys in the back can turn into anything. But I think right now the interior of their defensive line is one of their weaknesses. Moving on to their linebackers are pretty interesting. They drafted 2nd-round pick Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah from Notre Dame, and the dude can cover, okay? The dude has good speed, and he could cover, but he's very, very small. He's going to have to be in the same light as Darius Leonard, who was an absolute beast for the Colts, and they paired him up with the Colts linebacker, Anthony Walker, who was teammates of Mr. Darius Leonard. So we'll see if JOK can reach that potential, but he was projected to be like a top 15 pick, and he slid way down. I believe he was pick number 52, if I'm not mistaken, so he really slid down the draft boards for, I'm not exactly sure, probably just because he's undersized, to be very, very honest with you. And Taki, he's another guy that's interesting. He had a 70 PFF, not terrible, not bad, just an average. But, they didn't have great linebacker play last year, so if they can get anything going, that would help a lot. And now their secondary might be one of the strongest positions on their team. Like Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, they drafted Greg Newsome out of Northwestern. They picked up John Johnson coming from the Rams. And then, of course, they have LSU Grant Dilpit, who got hurt last season. He'll be coming back off of injury. Like Grant Dilpit right now is somehow not listed as a starter, former first-round pick, not even listed as a starter right now because of how deep they are in the secondary. And this team is dangerous. I believe PFF has them rated as like a top 3 team overall, and I believe it because they are really, really deep in a lot of positions. So let's go ahead and hop over to their schedule, and let's go through this. So this great team is going to have to run into a buzzsaw called the Kansas City Chiefs. And Pat Mahomes, first game of the season, I think, and they're at Kansas City at that. So I think they lose to Kansas City. Start off 0-1, but then let's see. I think I have them going on a tear because Houston, they beat Bears, they beat Vikings, they beat Chargers, they beat Cardinals, they beat. And I think that they're just going to run through those teams. It's going to be tough. But I'm actually going to pick an upset here. I'm actually going to take the Broncos in an upset, and they're going to be moving there to 5-2. I think the Broncos are a really, really interesting team. I actually like Drew Lock. Drew Lock and Baker Mayfield to me are very, very similar quarterbacks. They also have Melvin Gordon. They try to draft some offensive linemen. They drafted Patrick Surtain. That defense is actually really, really scary if you go look at their roster. So I'm actually going to pick an upset here, and I'm going to say they lose to Denver, but then they get right back on the train. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Patriots. They destroy the Lions. The Lions may score 3 points, and it might be a turn into a 41-3 game. It's going to be nobody wants to watch November 21st Lions versus the Browns. That's going to be a pathetic game. Now they play back-to-back Ravens games in between a bye week, and I'm going to have them split with the Ravens. So I'm going to say they lose the first one at the Baltimore home, and then they win the second one. So they split there. They beat the Raiders. I think they beat the Packers. I think they're a better team than the Packers, and I think the run game really is going to stifle them. I think in the secondary is, the strong suit of the Packers is obviously their pass game with Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and I think they have the secondary to go ahead and limit that, slow the game down, and I think they're going to beat the Packers. Then I have them splitting with the Steelers, so they're going to lose at Pittsburgh, and then they're going to beat the Bengals. That is a 13-4 record prediction for the Cleveland Browns. They were an 11-5 team last year. I think they got better this offseason, to be very honest with you, and I think that they're going to have even a better record, and I think it turns into a 13-4 record. But you guys let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Also in the description below, there's a Discord link. Hop on our Discord and come talk some football. And last but not least, there are donation links. If you feel so kind, you could donate to the channel. Brownies, they're on a good trajectory. And then you got Stefanski at head coach, a whole lot better than Freddie Kitchens. Let's go Brownies. But hey, until next time. See ya!